Today we are doing something a little bit different. I normally do reviews and that kind of stuff, and we go over some mod overviews, we do a little bit of bench work behind me, but today we're going over a whole line. And that's pretty easy because there's only 2 blasters in this line right now, and that is the new-ish Nerf Pro line. Now right now there's only 2 blasters in this line. You have the Torrent, which is pump action, Springer, and you have the Sender, which is semi-auto bullpup. And here we have both. We have our pump action, we have our semi-auto, and we're gonna go over the quirks. Do they really shoot 150 FPS? Are they comfortable? Can you use them practically in a half-dart war? We're gonna find out right here, right now. And before we go over the individual blasters themselves, we need to go over the ammo and magazines. So these do not use your traditional Nerf magazines. These use half-dart magazines, and these will look a little odd. That's because they are angled. Now, why they did that, in all honesty, I'm not 100% sure. The only thing I can really think of is for the Torrent, they go through the handle, and for the Sender, they just wanted to keep using the same magazine. I'm not 100% sure why, but they are fully clear and have this really nice gray bottom with the nice finger hole to be able to actually remove that magazine once you pull the mag release or squeeze the mag release. We'll get into that. For comparison, these use the Nerf Pro half darts and or short darts, and on your left there is a standard Nerf Elite dart. Now, for loading the Torrent, you go ahead and insert that magazine straight through the handle, Apollo style, and obviously you'd be able to go ahead and prime your priming handle, go forward, and fire your dart. Now, this has a removable stock with a end strike attachment point underneath of it. Now, this is a little short for me as far as my spacing goes, but in all honesty, it's pretty comfortable. And the only reason I think you just have to deal with that is unless you are 6 foot something, a lot of Nerf stocks are going to bring this really, really far out. So this kind of just works for me. But the magazine release on the Torrent is terrible. I don't know what the idea behind this was, but it's very, very frustrating. So there's no magazine release down here. You can't just rip the magazine out. This is the magazine release. It is the little triangle buttons on either side of this grip. Now, I'm gonna go scenario, but you are using this. You just got to your last dart. You want to change your magazine. How would you do so? I have to remove my finger either from the trigger or bring my thumb up, use the corner of my thumb to push the magazine release. Personally, I feel like that is a design flaw. Unless you have really, really big hands, I don't. Mine are more of a medium size. Like, I can just barely get my hand all the way around this grip for fingers to touch. So this grip is really big, and this happens when they incorporate any kind of magazine into the handle. It has to be bigger than the magazine itself, and the magazine itself is almost the right size for me. With that being said, the only other thing with this blaster in this line is the jam door. They have this nice hole in the top body of the shell for you to slide down your jam door. Now, it's a little bit odd to get into and really difficult to get your finger in there to move things around. With the mag out, you can now see directly through. It's a nice access spot, but it's just a little small to me. But with that being said, it's a pretty simple blaster to use. Shoulder, prime back, push forward, pull the trigger. But if you're like me and you like to choke up on your blasters, you like to get like right here. We know aiming isn't always the best, but you like to get pretty close and personal. You can see the problem. As you prime back, you will contact your face because this whole top slide moves. As you can see, that can be an issue that will cause pinching to your cheek if you lay it on top of this blaster. Obviously, you're probably not going to do that. You'll probably just be firing from the shoulder, nice and tight to yourself with this short stock. But if you do want to go ahead and lay your cheek up there, just be warned that could pinch you. And it's not a really good feeling. I did it by accident while testing this blaster. I've had both of these for about a month now, and I've been pushing off doing any kind of review or doing any kind of anything with them so I could test them properly. And I have to say, out of the two, I like the functionality of the Springer, but I think it's time we get to our semi-auto. And here we are with the Sender. This is a really compact package. I still can't believe they were able to do this. But they did. So, you have your same removable stock with your normal stock attachment point. They did a way better job at incorporating this because this is flat and clean lines, that without it, this area does not look as weird as the back of the Torrent. And it can allow you to put on a smaller stock, either in the end strike line or maybe a 3D printed stock, but it gives you options because this is really small. And where does my other hand go? Does it go on the batteries? Does it go at the bottom of the grip? Like I don't know where to put my non-dominant hand. But other than that, this has a standard magazine release. They learned. Just give us what we know, give us what we love, give us a nice smooth magwell with a magazine release that we can load without even looking at it. But as far as batteries go, you will be using 8 AA batteries, 4 on each side of this battery box. Now, I am not a big fan of bulky blasters, but there is a lot of weight in this battery box. AA's aren't really that heavy when you put them in a Strife or a Modulus, or even the C batteries in the Rapid Strike that can be a little front heavy. This is really nicely located at the bottom here, but you could see if you don't have another hand on this blaster because you have nowhere to put it, it can be a little uncomfortable to physically hold unless you're holding it against your body. But all things aside, this is a really compact package. I mean, you have batteries, rev trigger, firing trigger, that's how long the barrel is, about here to here. So approximately 5-6 inches, one single rail up top, which we will get to shortly, and a jam door, which again, does not really give you enough space to clear a jam. All things considered though, we are going to chrono these real quick and make sure they actually hit 150 FPS as the boxes claim. As you can see all the way up there, Pro Performance up to 150 FPS. It's up there for a reason. We are going to figure that out. Are these going to hit 150 FPS? We will see. But before we do that, I'm going to show you one more annoying thing I do not like about these Pro Blasters design. And that is that they actually put eyewear required on the blasters. This is not a sticker. This does not peel off. This is paint from the manufacturing process, just like they have Nerf Pro on this side. It is identical to that. And that's really annoying to be permanently on the blaster that I have to look at every single time I pick it up. All that aside, here we are with the Torrent chrono time. Now, I do not have a dart backdrop. I don't have an apparatus to shoot darts into. So this is going to get pretty messy. I'm going to aim to my right, your left, at a curtain that is strategically placed to catch darts. That probably won't do a good job. But we have an exposed barrel on this one, so I will definitely be able to get some pretty good chrono readings on this. I am saving up for a new chronograph. It will be as good as I can do, large opening, but let's get to the chrono readings. 138.7, 156.4, 144.2, 113.8, last but not least, a 149.9. And for the torrent, that's really not too bad. I would like a little bit more consistency. Maybe mine's just a lemon shooting in those low 1 teens. But we did get one shot over 150, a 156, and a 149.9. That's just 150 any day. So pretty good. 2 out of 5 shots. We had a little bit of a, low situation there, but anytime you see them claiming 150 FPS, if we even hit it 1 or 2 times, I will be very happy out of just 5 darts. That leads to a pretty good consistency when you really think about it. So now, it's on to the sender. Alright, now on to the sender. This one will be a little bit more difficult. We have no exposed barrel, so this will be a bit difficult to line up. As we know, I have a very small diameter chronograph, so we'll do our best. We'll try for 5 shots. If I don't get some good ones, I'll add more in. We're reloaded with our 15 half darts, and let's give this guy a shot. .9. 127.6. 121.3. Okay, so this yet again just proves that this chronograph, no exposed barrel, not great. So we had some pretty high numbers, 120s-ish, but to me, alright, so we had some 120s in there, but pretty low. That's either battery voltage, the chronograph, but I don't think this would hit 150 FPS every single time you shot it. We proved that with the torrent. That was 2 out of 5. I didn't get one shot over 150, and I fought like for 10 minutes trying to get those chrono readings for you guys. That super tiny area for the darts to fly through on that chronograph is just not optimal when there is not a exposed barrel. As a whole, with orb these 2 blasters, I do not count the blasters. Now, that's a me problem. Eventually, I'll get that chronograph replaced. These are just optimized, don't have it in me right now. Styling. So, what do I think of these? This is kind of what I think we got right now. As far as Pro goes, I think of the 2, you're going to get more consistency out of the Springer, and that's truly just based on simplicity. You're not based on revving up. You're not based on battery voltage. These have been in here for about a month, so it is very possible that that's my problem. You will get consistent reliability out of the Springer if you can deal with this weird magazine release that I don't really like at all. But overall, I think there's more potential in the sender being flywheel, being we could just rewire that up to a 2S and put a different stock on it and have it be the proper length rather than trying to deal with the quirks of the Springer. But yet again, the only thing this really boils down to is this line worth it? And I think Nerf giving us half dart, anything, I will take, because other companies are doing it already. So I'll take the quirkiness of these being their half darts and angled magazines being unique to just these 2 blasters, that you have to go buy these magazines individually, because I don't know what magazines will fit in these magwells. Maybe the angled talons will fit in here. This just seems like a very, very tight fit, and at the moment I have 0 other magazines that will fit these, except, obviously, for the proper Nerf mags. And that can be a little frustrating because 1 magazine and 15 darts, this is about $10 right now at Walmart, which might not seem that bad for a magazine that's super specific to 2 blasters and comes with their Nerf half darts. This will shoot generic half darts, this will shoot worker darts, it will shoot the X-Shot darts, it will shoot adventure darts, you could cut down your elite darts, it will fire generic half darts. Both of these feed fine. I would not assume that mine can and yours can. But just something to remember, if you're going to get into the Nerf Pro series and or line, you will need half-dart magazines because you only get one with each blaster. With that being said, right now I have 4 magazines and approximately 75 darts because 30 came with the sender. You get 1 magazine plus darts with the torrent, and I bought 2 extra magazines. So that's what I think of the new-ish Nerf Pro torrent and sender. I think bang for your buck, the torrent's pretty cheap, coming in at me at $19.99. Spring powered, 1 magazine, you could spoil yourself and get an extra magazine or 2 and be able to actually use it. Again, just be careful. I recommend eye protection. These blasters come with it, and it's pretty good. You have the ability to use your Nerf stocks. You will need half darts, does not run on what you already have, and just be careful of that pinching point on that prime, and I think that one is a good play. But for the sender, it being 8 AA's, that is a lot of weight that I don't think this blaster needs. I'm sure it's optimized for the proper feet per second, and that's why we're not just using 4, but there's science to all of that. So, with that being said, and it's a little quirky with that tiny bullpup, but the magazine release is way better, and it's a little smaller. It's a nice compact package, but that one for me comes in at $34.99 for 1 magazine, the blaster, and 30 darts. Yes, they actually gave me an extra reload, and those darts are right here. Because I had 3 other magazines, I didn't bother to open these darts, but they are just standard, your standard Nerf half dart for this line, I guess. The foam is thicker than a Nerf Elite dart, if that means anything to you. And with that, guys, that's kind of the end of this. As far as the Nerf Pro line goes, I hope we get more. I would love to see maybe a pistol, mag-fed pistol, that would be pretty cool. And maybe a full auto, that way we can complete the whole line. We have a semi-auto and a bullpup and a kind of rifle springer, depending on how you really consider this. These are both pretty small packages for what they are. Knowing they have the technology, it'd be pretty easy to make this full auto, and I think they would manage a pistol. I think that would be pretty cool. Alright everyone, so overall, gotta say, out of the 2 of them, the sender is gonna be my favorite just because it's flywheel. I have just a thing for flywheel blasters. I think we all do. They're a little bit easier to modify, a little bit easier to keep consistent, but, you know, they lead to more going wrong and more work to be done when you want to mod them, more than just changing a spring. But, thank you guys for watching my kind of review of the Nerf Pro line right now. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and give me a like. Comment which one of these you like more. Do you like the Springer? Do you like the Flywheeler? And maybe on our polling system, maybe one day we'll end up modifying one of these. I've seen a lot of cool things people do with the sender, but there's not a lot out for them right now. I don't know what motors this has in it. I don't know the flywheel cage, and I don't know as far as wiring goes, so maybe we'll just open it and see what's going on. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble anymore, but like I always say, peace out, bros.